So the next part of what we're going to be going over is doing something called bridging our connection. Regardless of the platform that you're on, go ahead and open up your network connections. Here I am on Windows XP, and as you can see, Virtualbox has now created an extra connection. You should have an extra connection in your connections that's titled Virtualbox. It might not be titled this exact same way, but it should say Virtualbox. And what we're going to be doing, see, right now, these two connections, your main connection and your Virtualbox connection, aren't talking to each other. And so in order to have our Virtualbox virtual server, which is what we're about to start with Ubuntu, become network addressable inside our internal network, we're going to have to assign it an IP address, a local IP address. Now, right now it's running on a virtual IP, and it should be, if we were to start it up and if config it, which we're going to be doing here in a second once we do bridge the connections, then it would spit out an IP address something like I think it's like 10.10.2.15 or something like that, and that's a virtual host. Okay, that's not an actual addressable IP on our network. And so that's what we're going to be doing right now when we bridge our connections. Now first I want to show you something though. If you go back to Virtualbox and then you click on your settings tab, and then you'll have a bunch of menu options that come up. So if you click on network inside of here, and then this is where we're going to be doing this after we bridge our connections, but I just want to show you this before we start. So we're going to be going to bridge adapter, and then if you can see, I have two options here, neither of which is going to bridge the connection properly because we haven't done it over here yet. Now after I bridge the connection here and then we come back, I'm going to have a different option over here with my bridged adapter, and you know, we'll be seeing that here shortly, but I just wanted to make that point. So okay, so regardless of the platform that you're on, like I said, you should have an extra Virtualbox connection now. So in Windows, just click on the Virtualbox connection, hold down Control, and then click on the other one to highlight both. Now whenever we right click, we should have a new connection that says Bridge Connections, and so we're just going to go ahead and click that first because it takes a second. It should come up with like 3 different options. Yeah, here we go. So if you see these screens right here, just click continue anyways, and I think there's like 3 of them. It's just asking you things about your virtual machine. Okay, so and once we do that, then you'll notice that Windows will start to bridge our connection. See, and there it is. So at the very end of it, what's going to happen is that these 2 connections are going to be bridged. We're going to come back over here, select bridged adapter, and then we're going to get ready to, the next step will actually be starting our virtual server. So okay, great. So now as you can see, I have a new connection that has just been created called connected. Now let's see if I'm going to have to restart Virtualbox. I don't think I have to. Boom, no I don't. Okay, so now you can see whenever I go back to bridged adapter, now I have a new, if you notice before, we didn't have this menu option, and so basically what happened is that in plain English, Virtualbox you know, melded itself, for lack of a better word, with our local area connection, our main internet connection, and it assigned itself to an IP. Now we don't know what that IP is right now because but we will be finding out once we start Ubuntu in the next step. But this really is kind of one of the more tricky parts. If you don't get this part right, then we can run into problems when we're going to be installing, we're going to be actually building our virtual machine, because Ubuntu needs to talk to external repositories when we're going to be installing different programs. It needs to talk to our virtual machine, and so in order to talk to it, it has to be a network addressable IP address on our local host. And so this isn't, you know, we're not going to get too much into the networking part of it, and this is probably going to be the extent of networking that we see when we are building our virtual machine. But I just want to make that point that this part is very important. So yeah, make sure you get this right, and make sure before you go to the next step that your Virtualbox connection is bridged with your main connection. So